Hello everyone, welcome back to Tall Tales Custom Tackles. We're going to do a little bit different video today. I'm actually going to show you how I do my stencils for my crankbaits. I make well, not lately, usually I make a lot more crankbaits, but here lately I hadn't been doing many crankbaits because I've been so busy with the soft bait side. Anyway, my crankbait setup is a little small as far as right here. I'll show you. I got a little paint area, compressor set up here, paints, stencils I've made. I got some just crawl stencils I've got cut out, the stuff I use to do the kind of like the fish scales, different netting for wraps. I keep all my plastic blanks up there. And bear with me, my shop is a mess, but I'll show you. This is in here. It's messy right this second because I've been reorganizing, putting a different shelf in here. But anyway, this is where I do my woodworking side. I cut out blanks. I make a lot of wood lures for myself. These are just some that I started on and I got to finish cutting out, shaping. I got boxes of wood blanks in here that I've started on. I mean, every one of these are pretty much full all the way down of wood blanks. I have tons of wood blanks, and these are some new pieces I just got that I was gonna make some for my personal self. But anyway, I ain't trying to spend too much time. I use a lathe sometimes when I'm doing top water baits, but anyway, this is the woodworking area. I keep separated so I don't get all the dust in the other part of my shop. And we're gonna come over here, and then we'll get back on track. This, like I say, this area is in a mess too, but this is where I do all the hardware. All hooks, everything from different color, size beads, lips, hardware. This is pretty much the area where it's like a catch-all area, I guess. Got wire, lead pot, for, like I say, just pretty much a catch-all. It's just a mess right this second, but little small jig for when I'm doing twist eyes. Anyway, this is the area. That's the area I use when I'm doing I've been using it for bagging my baits also, my soft plastics. But anyway, I use this area for a lot of, this is the first drying rack, my bait turner for when I clear coat that I've built, and I ain't no need to upgrade it because it works so good. It's hard to see, but because I got everything piled up. That's I actually took two of like fingernail dryers, for like UV lights, and that's what I use for my clear coat. When you dip in the UV resin stuff. Anyway, it works pretty good. I can usually dry my baits in that box. In 30 minutes, it's pretty much ready to fish. Anyway, let's get on track. I'm gonna show you this is a S crank. These are very popular little crankbait design, especially for painting. Everybody loves S cranks, and personally I like them. I mean, they work really good. Anyway, this is what we're going to use to do these stencils. It makes a pretty good stencil. You can do the old school way and make your own, or I bought this off of Amazon for, I think it was like $100. It works really good. Let me see if I can pull some down. I got a bunch of, do a lot of crawl stencils where you can make like multiple pieces, but anyway, we'll show you the process. I got a bunch of different ones I've made. All these are pretty much gone. I believe all of them are, yeah, all these are crawling, and I've got some I do for the 1.5s. basically any bait you have, as long as it'll fit in this area, you can make a stencil for it like this. I've never actually measured. Let's see. As long as your bait don't go over about 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, you're fine. I mean, you could go long ways with it and go 5 1/2 on like a skinnier bait. Okay, but anyway, let's get back on track. The plastic I use is a 0.030. They have, you can get thinner ones. I think they make like a 15, a 30, and I believe they make a 40. 30 has worked the best for me. It's fairly expensive, so you don't want to waste too much. Like, it's $5 for 2 sheets. Honestly, 2 sheets can make 4 baits. I mean, one sheet pretty much I do, you know, 1 full bait. But I'm trying to get where I can show you what's going on. All right, you basically take this right here, you slide it up under there, and you want it just like that. Oh, I ain't gonna pull this lever, and it's locked in. So there, right now the plastic is locked in. Okay, this over here is actually a heating element. You can go ahead and fire that up. Just turn the heat button on. Every one of these, pretty much like this, are designed for dentists actually use it to make a mold, you know, like a casting of like dentures, you know. So, but anyway, it works great for this. Now while that's heating up, let me explain something. If you're gonna make blanks, now they do have where you can put the BBs in there and slide this in. Personally, the best thing I can tell you is to get the bait you want, like order a bunch of them that you're gonna do, and just take and cut one of them in half. And that way it makes it easy. You can lay it in there. It actually makes it real easy. So we're gonna start out, and you basically just want it about center ways, and you can hear that thing warming up. So we're gonna bring this down where it's not in the way and let this heat up. And I mean, it gets hot. It don't take too long. Try to angle you. Yeah, see, it's not glowing yet, but I want it on for I want that thing on for a couple of minutes where it gets good and hot. Once it gets good and hot, it'll be red, and you got to be careful. And I've done it myself. I honestly hadn't used this thing in months, so I'm gonna try not to burn it. Hopefully I won't mess one up this morning. But anyway, once you're heating it up, you'll see the plastic start sagging. Once it sags to a good little degree, you drop it, and it just sucks it up and makes a perfect form. So hopefully we won't mess it up on this video, but this will be ready in just a second. We're gonna do both sides. I'm gonna show you that, and then to try to keep the video down, I'm gonna draw out a little, you know, like a baby bass pattern or something like that on it. Cut it out real quick, and then I'll show you when that's done. Because it's really time consuming to cut it out. There's quicker ways to do it. I've seen people online do it, you know, with like a little hot knife, or I've seen them use like a little Dremel tool and stuff like that. It just all depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll use just a little small razor knife. Sometimes I might use the Dremel tool. But anyway, so when we get this done, I'll mark it up and show you, and then we'll show you what it looks like after I got it cut out. But let's see if this thing is all right. Let me angle the camera. See how it's glowing red? Okay, let's see if I can get you where you can see what's going on. All right, I'm gonna put that there. Hopefully you can see what's going on. All right. Hopefully this does great the first time. You slowly want to lift it up. When you start seeing that plastic sag, then you drop it. Alright, she was perfect. I'm hoping that it was able to see it sag. If not, this next go around, we're going to show it sagging. I'll angle the camera down a little bit more. Come on out of there. And we're going to sit this to the side, let that... Where's my other piece at? We're going to sit that one to the side. Man, being that it's clear, now I can't find my other piece I had laying here. What did I do with it? There it is. Being that it's clear laying around, hell, I couldn't see it. Alright, let's load this one up real quick. Get this side. Alright, this time let me angle the camera. I'm going to try to get it where you can hopefully see what's going on. Oh yeah, you can see what's going on. Now you'll be able to see what I'm talking about with the sag. And it's sagging down. Boom. Alright, so now you was able to actually see the plastic sagging. And what you want to do is when it starts sagging a good little bit, because it takes a lot for that to actually mess up. If you get it too close to the heat for too long, it'll actually burn a hole through it. With this 30, it works great. Now the 15, it sags extremely fast, but you take a quicker chance to burn a hole in it. The thicker one, it takes a lot for it to sag, and you get an extremely tough, you get a very tough stencil, but it is very hard to cut your design out in it. So, alright, let's raise this up, get this out. You'll be able to see. Now we got two stencils of the same bait. And you can see right here, I mean, that's your one side, and there's your other side. Alright, and to pop these out, sometimes you need to let them cool off a little bit longer, but I mean, they're not too terrible bad. I'm thinking it's cool enough now, but it takes you, and you could probably put a touch of, I mean, real slick little touch of oil on the bait before you do it, but I don't usually do it. I mean, it might make it easier. It takes a little bit of, just a little bit to pop it on out, and you can reuse these over and over and over. I mean, these stencils, you can, like I say, you can reuse them over and over. But just push your finger on it and just start lifting up on the sides a little bit, and it'll start popping out. I mean, because it's, I mean, hell, that plastic is very hot when it's, and there's the other side. So, alright. So what we're going to do, I'm going to, pause the camera a few minutes, because I'm really trying to keep this video as short as I can, and we're going to get this cut out. Usually I just cut it out around here, and cut out right there where the lip, can go in it proper, and I'll make a little design on it, cut it out, and we will come right back. Alright, we're right back. This is what we got. Just something simple. It's just something simple, and we'll see how it looks. I end up doing is just drawing something out on there. Use this right here. Basically just went in with this small bit and just slowly, like, letting this turn high, and pretty much just slowly letting it burn out, what I wanted. That usually ain't the ideal method, but it was quick, so that's what we're looking for here. So I just wanted to show you that real quick, and we're gonna get this wrapped up. We'll you know, tape off the bill, and I'm gonna get it primed white, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I went ahead and I taped it off, and I went ahead and just painted the whole thing white, you know, for the base coat. I didn't show that in the process because, I mean, that should be pretty simple. Just a white base coat. Sometimes I'll do a pearl white base coat, but this go around I just did a white. The reason I did a white because the next color I'm going to spray is actually a pearl white, you know, just across the belly. The reason I'm doing it this way, trying to skip through as fast as I can, is, I mean, I'm trying not to make this video extremely long. I mean, there's, you know, there's no, if you can, there's no reason to, you know what I mean, just to make it real long if you can. Cause, you know, I get people complaining sometimes that I make my videos too long. But then the other time, people will be like, oh man, I enjoy your videos long, but you know, you can't make everybody happy, but I can understand sometimes they are real long. And you ain't gonna tell it. I don't know if you can see a big difference, but that pearl white belly, you know, just makes it look a little shinier. You know what I mean? You're going, the white everywhere else is more of a dull, and the belly is just got that pearl look to it. So get a good coat. That looks good. All right, and all I use is just a hair dryer to you know, just heat it a little bit. Don't take much heat because we didn't go like real thick with it. All right, let that sit there, and I'm gonna clean this color out and get ready for the next. All right, next we're just going to use this color right here. It's tropical green. I've got a little bit in here. I got some new ones, but I think there's enough in here to do everything we need. We're going to use that color, and you see how I got it set. Let me turn the pressure down because I don't want it spraying too heavy, even though we can cover it up with the next step. Yeah, there we go. We can cover it up with the next step if we overspray too high. I don't want to cover up the belly, you know, just like that. That's all we want to do, is just there. Let's see here, a little bit more down, a little lower. There we go. You can see it's just a little bit light. All right, that looks about right. I'll put a little bit more towards the, and if you see right there, you got a couple little drops that sprayed heavy. I'm not worried about that because we're going to cover that up actually with a little bit of black towards the nose. So hit that there. All right, that's good. Get this thing cleaned out, and if you wonder how I clean, I'm not going to show it, but if you wonder how I clean it out, I basically just dump it all right there on that rag. I'll turn the air pressure up, and from there I'll use a little bit of regular airbrush cleaner. I'll use some of this, which this is not all floor care. It's actually, let me turn that off for a second. It's actually like a little bit of distilled water mixed with floor care. It's just a little extra cleaner. And when I really want to clean the tip of the needle in it, some people might, you know, frown upon this. I will clean the tip with this, but I don't leave that on, you know what I mean? I just clean off the gunk with that. But anyway, we'll be right back. All right, this next color is actually just honestly, I don't remember what all, because I've had it for a couple years now. It's just a color I use for my bass, if I'm doing a bass pattern. It's actually a color I blended up and started mixing a few different colors till I got it to look the way I wanted. So I really don't necessarily just have a color to show you, other than you can pretty much come up with your own, you know, colors. Okay, let's go to the next step. From here, I'm pretty much just going to go from the top down and let it overspray a little bit, and we'll blend it in. And it's just a little bit darker than what we already used, and this color is thinned a lot, so you have to be a little more careful with it. You know, it's because these other ones I'm using, sometimes after they sit for a little while, they need to be thinned more. Alright, that's all we're trying to see. If you can see, it's just a little bit darker. This down here is more like a yellowish green, and it's darkened up. What I'm actually going to do with this real quick, because it's such a thin paint, I don't want no runs. I'm going to hit it with the hair dryer, and then we're going to run over it one more coat. Now we can hit it with one more coat. Like I say, it's a thin mixed color, so you don't want to do it too heavy at first, or it will cause it to. You want to fill in right there around the mouth a little bit, just to blend it in. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Oh, there we go again. Hush up. When I pause it, I'll cut it back on. Alright, well, I'm going to dry this and clean it out, and then we're going to come back with the next color, and then we'll be able to show the actual stencils that we've done. Alright. Okay. Alright, next is just black. And this is just opaque black. Honestly, it don't matter if you got any color black. They make a couple of different colors black. You know, you got flat black, whatever. Black will work. Anything close to that. From here, I'm going to go ahead and just spray a little bit. Let me see if my pressure, let me turn it down a little bit, because you want just a little bit, or I like a little bit around the eyes. Come on. Come on. About got too much right there. Alright, that'll work. A little bit around the eyes. Even that one, even though it got a little bit heavy, it's fine. It ain't gonna hurt a thing. So we get all I want is just a little bit around the, yeah, see, that's more of what I was trying to go for. This side right here got real heavy right there, but you know what? It's fine. This bait is not going to nobody. It's just for me, so. And honestly, I'll probably just, I'll put a little extra right there to make it match the other side, you know. Yep. Alright, now, and black is one of those thick paints that it's really good if you thin it a lot. We didn't. We just ran it straight. Every time I get started video and it turns back on. But you can see how we did the back solid, but then just let it fade. You see how it just faded in, and what that does is give you the appearance where it starts out light goes to like a yellowish green, a little darker all the way up. You know, that's the effect you want. You know, you want it to have. All right, now comes, let me take this off. All right, there we go. Now comes the part where we use the stencils. And let me hit this real quick. I don't want to smear the paint. Make sure that's good and dry. And this is honestly a very quick and very like easy, probably one of the easiest ways to do a baby bass. I mean, you can, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of different ways, but this is probably one of the easier ways. Basically, all you're doing from here is just spraying. You know, you ain't got to get perfect, and it don't matter how much you get on the stencil. You know, the stencil is fine. But I like to get a real solid, that way you can tell the difference. Slowly ease that up. And you see how thick that is? And if you want to fill it in a little more, you can always come back, you know, and fill it in a little bit better. And you can technically get a better, you know, lateral line pattern instead of doing it. You can see how those are rounded. Instead of doing it with a drill like I did, you can get real precise with it by doing it with a you know, like a little fine cutting tool that goes for a Dremel, or like a real sharp, you know, say a knife. All right, got that held in place. And we're gonna do the same thing this side, just coat it where it's real. And it's the beauty about making your own bait. You can make it as thick as you want, as thin as you want. You can go light. You ain't got to go a black lateral line. You can make it any color you want. I mean, that's the beauty of doing this kind of stuff, you know, for yourself. Like this one, like I say, this is just a bait that will be for me. And once you get to that point right there, you can always come back and fill in, you know, stuff, make it a little darker, like right there around the mouth. I can tighten it up a little bit, you know, where it's not solid black, but make it, you know what I mean. One thing I do like to do, and this is just for me, I'll actually pump this a few times, and you can test it right there and see. All right, you see that splatter effect? That way it just don't look, you know, it looks more natural. And I'll try to get closer up on it so you can see what I'm talking about. You see, like those little, and all I'm doing is kicking this back. It's just giving a little splatter effect. And personally, I like to do that. All right, now this one is pretty much painted and done. Like I say, you can see the splatter effect. Thick lateral line, dark back, green side. I mean, that's, you know. And as far as eyes, most of the time on a baby bass, I will put black eyes, but I might just look and see, and I might switch it up and put something else on it. You know, I'll make up my mind. I'm actually gonna put more splatter around where I got the little dots on that gill plate. Yeah, kind of just make it look, you know, give it a little more defined, realistic look right there. You know, like right around that, make it, it'll make it where it's not so stand out. And hopefully this video won't be too long. That's why I'm trying to pause it and cut in as much as I can. Alright, see that there just makes it look more natural. Alright, I'm gonna get this bait. I'm gonna, instead of showing all the steps, you know, I'm not gonna pull the tape off on camera. I'm not gonna put the eyes on, because that's just all stuff you should be able to figure out. I mean, just pick out the eyes you want and stick them on there. Clear coat, I mean, I guess I can show dipping it and putting it inside the dryer, and then yeah, I think I'll show that. It won't take but a couple extra minutes, so hopefully this won't be too terrible long. Then we'll show you what you know, the other steps. All right, we'll be back. All right, we're back. Got the eyes on. I decided to go with a black. On these black ones, they're a little bigger, so I trimmed the edges down, but they still, I use them on this bait for myself, and it looks good in my opinion. Here's the UV stuff. You want to keep it out of the light. I keep it in a cabinet. I keep it inside. It don't come in this bottle. But anyway, you don't want it to be exposed to light too long. Even right here, if it stayed right here for too long, it would end up hardening up. I'm getting low. I got to order some more. The stuff lasts forever. I've been using it for a while. Basically, you just want to drop it in there. See if you can see it. Drop it in there until the nose goes under. I usually don't do the entire bill. It don't hurt to just have half of it going, you know, and you let it drain for a minute. You know, I try to let it drain for a little bit, just because you don't need all that. And I mean, it's just, you end up wasting a lot of material if you just straight pull it out and not let it drain. Alright, from there, that's good enough. I'll actually just take this piece of paper and let it drip on it for a minute, because I want to try to get the lid on this little jar as quick as I can, even if I don't have the jar secured. You know what I mean? I still want to get the jar put away. And always on this tail, you want to put something through the tail like that, and it helps actually drain a little better. Because I mean, when you're done, you're gonna have a certain amount that's built up, you know, around the eyes of the bait where the hardware goes. I mean, if you really look right there, it'd be built up to a certain point, but that is all very easy to clean. And that's probably long enough. I mean, you can let it drip as long as you want. It's just the more it drips, you know, the thinner your layer will be. These baits and this coating is pretty tough, so you ain't gotta necessarily have it real thick. For example, I love to use two-ton epoxy, you know, 30-minute epoxy. That has a real extremely durable shell, but you know, but it's real thick. Alright, let me remove the lid, bear with me. There, I had already had it turned on. And that will stay right there, and honestly, it don't take but a minute. You could actually right now look, and it will not drip anymore. I mean, as soon as that light hits it, it hardens up. And the way I have this set up, it's perfect for dropping, you know, say 5-inch baits. But if I needed to do a real long bait, I got a hook there and a hook there. I can actually secure it long ways and turn this over. And as far as the lid reflects also. And I just leave it in there. That'll shut off after about 20 minutes. And what I usually do is once it shuts off, I move the bait around to the other side and turn it back on for another run. All right, while that's going, we'll come back when that's done. Like when the clear coat's done and I put hooks on it, we'll come back and do one final look at it. But anyway, real quick, over here, I didn't mention this, but after I clean my airbrush, I do add a couple of drops of this inside of it, pull the back, spin it a couple times, you know, let the needle move around, and that keeps it lubed up, and it keeps it where when you're ready to go, I can come back 3 months from now, pick this up, squirt a little spray of airbrush cleaner in it, and I mean it's gonna spray perfect. It ain't like it's, you know, it ain't like it's gonna take anything just because I keep everything done with that. This, I use this one a lot. This is just a cheaper Neo. It's made by Iwata. You know, I use it a lot. I do have a high performance Revolution that I use. I don't use it as often, but this one is a lot more expensive. It works great. With that being said, this one's a little more touchy. And what I mean by that, this one it takes a little more finesse to, now you can do more detail, and I mean real fine, but it's a little more in depth to clean this one than it is to clean the cheaper one, so I use it. I also, every once in a while, I don't do it every time, but when I get ready to break them down and fully clean them and do a proper cleaning, I actually use this. You know, and when you take your parts out, the real small parts, I'll lay them in this little basket, and let it, you know, I'll let it run, turn it up the heat, let it run for about 20 minutes or so. I might even run it a couple of cycles, and all it's doing is it's got such a ultrasonic little vibration that it breaks everything down, even that little crud that you can't even see. I mean, it'll break it down and clean it. All you gotta do is put a little bit of water in there, turn it up, it'll heat the water up, put a couple little drops of like dish detergent, anything like that, and it will really clean it up good. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Trying to think anything else I need to touch on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can get into when it comes to the crankbaits, but we're going to try not to touch base on everything today. I plan on doing a few more videos later, you know, trying to do crankbaits, and eventually I might even show you some of the wood ones. Just those videos can be long, so you might have to break them up into smaller sections. Anyway, when this is done, we'll come back. All right, here we are. We got hooks on it. Nice hard clear coat. Let's get a little bit better in the light. You can see nice shiny clear coat. And as far as hooks, you can go any size you want. Personally, for myself, I'm going to use these right here, number 2s, 2/0. They're a little bit short shank, but wide. I mean, if one grabs it, you got him. Looks good. And right here you can see I only, you know, went that far. You can clear dip the entire lip. I didn't. I mean, honestly, it don't, you know, sometimes I might do it, but it ain't gonna make no big deal whether if you do or don't. But anyway, finished bait. Looks good. Looks real good. I'll put that in my personal collection. I've got way too many because I'm bad about making them for myself. We're fixing to wrap this video up in just a minute. And going back to those making those stencils, you can make anything you want. Once you get that, you can draw out any kind of design you want. This video was just basically showing you the process with one of those, and you know, a quick, easy, I mean, really, even though we paused the video multiple times, this is really a quick, easy paint job to do. Anyway, I do want to touch base on one thing. I did a video yesterday, you know, all the molds and stuff, and if you have watched the channel from the beginning, you can see basically this is going to, I had a comment somebody left about why should they watch my videos if they don't learn anything. You know, first they said, you know, I do good on laminate, nice, clean, this, that, and other, but basically, why should I watch if I don't learn? Well, the comment was, I don't tell what temperature to run. Well, for one, on every mold, I run the same, and if you watched my channel from the beginning, you'll see that most of the time I run my molds around 315, unless there's a couple, like I've said, I got a couple, like the dead eye crawl, I had to run it upwards to about 340, 350 for it to do proper. And that's the same with laminating. You want your temperatures within about 5 degrees of each other. And like I say, I've said this in past videos. And here's what I want to touch base on. One of the comment was, I'm not sharing none of my formulas. Well, for one, I have shared a few of them in some of my past videos. But what I want to get at is, yeah, I don't mind sharing some of the stuff as far as my formulas on, you know, some of the bait recipes I make. You know, most of them are just common. I mean, just simple, so I don't even say it. You know, green pumpkin is just easy. Watermelon's easy. You know, stuff like that. But when you start getting into some of these colors that are a little more complicated, I'm not going to share everything because, and the reason I say that, I'll share a lot. Some of these colors that I do, I'll spend hours and hours just learning how to make that color to get it dialed in just the way I want. You know, same with color matching. I do color matching a lot of times, and some of the baits that I color match, I might spend a buku of time on, and I'll show you. I know this is making it longer than it needs to be, and I apologize for that. I just, you know, there's just certain things that really, I mean, it gripes my ass. I hate to say it that way and be blunt about it, but you know, that little comment right there about not sharing my you know, the colors I make and stuff. I don't know too many bait makers out there that once they get something, you know, they don't share. And I will share certain ones, but there's a lot of them I won't share. You got this right here, for an example. This is a color match I did. You know, it looks fairly simple. This is the bait. These are the ones that I color matched. I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, it's pretty dialed in, different bait. But, for example, this one right here, I spent hours on it because it looks simple, but to get it dialed in, the exact perfect time, you know, color and all, it took a while. I got it wrote down where what I tried until I got it perfect. So sometimes you might spend hours. For example, this one right here, I'm not going to give that recipe up, you know what I mean? Because if I spent 3, 4, 5 hours and wasted, you know, I don't call it wasted, waste several cups of plastic just to build that color and get it dialed in, you know, don't. And that's part of this channel, is to be fun, to learn a little bit, and to show you, you know, show you a lot of stuff to get you started in color building. That is one thing. I mean, I get out here a lot of times and experiment and just try to build colors. Sometimes it's a failure, sometimes it's nice. But anyway, I'm rambling a little bit, but I just wanted to touch base on that part. If you're, you know, if you're new to the channel and you just watched that past video or maybe the video before and you're already complaining that you're not learning anything, I'm sorry. Go back and watch some of the other ones and you'll see where I do try to get and, you know, give more detail. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. I just had to get that little bit off my chest, because it had me aggravated at first. But we're gonna try to do a few more of the crankbait ones, you know, coming up. I know these videos can get long because I can get winded. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you didn't enjoy it, you didn't learn anything, or you was bored of it, thumbs down. Leave me a comment. I mean, I appreciate all feedback, whether if it's positive or negative. But you know, it is what it is. Just let's show this bait one more time. But like I say, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. You know, share it on your Facebook, share it on your social media outlet. You know, pass the word on. You know, I'm trying to put as much content out as I can. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. Leave me comments. You can always, and I've said it in other videos, you can go to my personal page, Eric Gilly, leave me a message there. You can go to Tall Tales Custom Tackles on Facebook or on Instagram. Hit me up there. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.